This build is so good that I just wanna use my old clips to prove it. So much time and I got barely any upgrades since I was already doing Zest on T4 in full party. 6 man, tier 4, look what happens to the boss. There's on the ground, Stormlands on the ground, double time Infernal Cry, Voltaic Mark, Rake and Bloodhound to finish him off real quick. And the wonderful map clear, nothing changed, still is a wonderful map clear. All in one, no swapping, no changing any items, any abilities, no swapping, no changing your active abilities, nothing. One set in stone build for both bossing and mapping. And you're still completely able to face tank them up and clear it like this. Anything hitting you still gets killed. We are just tankier now, and the build is just way more polished now, and I know all the most frequently asked questions that I can answer during the video. Okay, before I go anywhere with the passives, support gems, items, if you wonder if the Rat Pit is better, the focus, than the Sacred Flame, if the Chernobog shield is better, I don't know. Might be. I never changed a thing in terms of core of the build. I only use Sacred Flame, I see people trying the Rat Pit, the shield, everything. And honestly, just by glazing at them, both of these options gonna be amazing. And honestly, even if you don't have any fucking offhand, you're gonna be doing well with this build. It's very strong build and very flexible, so you can use really whatever you want to use. You wanna test something, experiment with something, go on, nothing stops you. It's not like set in stone what you need to have. There are only like couple of core things in terms of items for the build, and I will go over them real quick. And that is, starting with gloves, we need triple flat, some critical damage, some attributes, some attack speed perhaps, but best possible thing you could get is of course triple flat, preferably elementals, as high tier as possible, also as low, I don't know how to call it after the change, but basically we want tier 1 everywhere, and preferably we also want the melee skills and critical damage. This is the biggest possible damage gains on the gloves. For the third suffix, attributes, rarity, attack speed, whatever you can get, because already getting triple tier 1 on flat plus 2 melee skills is skyrocket on the price. If you wonder if you need the skill slot rings, no you don't. If you wonder what to drop if you don't use them, Trinity and Elemental Conflux are out, you don't need those. Trinity is literally better than Conflux just because it gives you attack speed, but both you don't need. This is just extra damage added to the build, but damage is the last thing this build ever will need. I'm not even using the Elemental Conflux myself anymore, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, cause the Kalandra ring dropped on price heavily. So you only need one good ring, and the best possible ring in the game is the one that has +1 prefix, which means we can get quad flat damage on it. Quad flat damage times 4 on tier 1 is just such an insane damage increase to this build that if you as long as I have like Tangle Toe, any like 20 crit, 24, whatever, just to have like lots of, like I love to have guaranteed both crits. And Sacred Flame on like 55% extra fire, plus gloves and the rings, especially if you have Kalandras and one with the quad flat damage. I mean, let's be honest, the quad flat damage is just an overkill. Like you can just get Kalandras or 2 decent rings and you're good to go. Like triple flat on even tier 3 and you're gonna be doing just perfectly fine. Unless you want to min-max, I'm gonna put in the MOBALYTICS in my opinion, the best possible items. But yeah, for the belt, people ask if why not Headhunter. Well, feel completely free to use Headhunter. Also, crazy option. And well, Ingenuity isn't that good. Like it got heavily nerfed. It doesn't even give that much, you know, to the whole thing. I just had Corruption for code on it. But yeah, you can get way better options. Even normal belt with just stacked resistances, some attributes, whatever you're gonna get on it. This is not mandatory anymore. And that's all about the engine. You can use any belt really. But I will also need to whittle off my amulet, the spirit. Good, it rolled on the low tier, because I wanna get rid of it. What I would love to see is percentage life. Because I don't really need spirit anymore. You will see why very soon. But what you want yourself is crit chance, melee skills, some life, and that's pretty much all you really need. Why we want melee skills? It's crazy baseline multiplier, and instead of intelligence, I would love to have critical damage, or even better, +1 suffix, -1 prefix amulet, and then we can just go for the life, percentage life, melee skills, hit chance, critical damage, and then we can get any attributes, any like resistances or all elemental resistances. That would be the best option, because all this build needs is life. If you wanna focus on evasion full, on energy shield full, go on, it's your thing. But me personally, I don't focus on anything. 69 energy shield, 33 evasion, 11 armor, everything just completely random. I just buy the cheapest item that has the attributes or the stats that I need, and that's it. If you would focus on one stat, like evasion, and you would actually get good items, good rolls, with one focus stat, you would be even tankier than I already am. But do we really need it? I don't know. Maybe you need it, maybe you play hardcore, then you definitely need it. But it's all up to you. You wanna be tanky, or you don't mind dying from time to time, up to you. But I can guarantee you, the base of this build ain't really dying, unless you're just doing way too hard wastons. But it's time to go over the new runes, which is the big change for this patch. Very important and very beautiful to, I think, every build in the game. But for us, let's start with the body armor runes. We want as many runes as possible, so for those who like to run Warrior, for example, enjoy even more. But 30 of damage is taken from mana before life. Pure, amazing. 30% damage reduction. Our mana should be fine. We either use the potion, the flask, or however you wanna get it back. We can anoint or go here for the 2% mana on kill. We can get mana leech on ring maybe. We can get jewel with mana on kill. Or any other way. I spam the flask. I don't really see that big of a difference. But as of lately, I dropped elemental conflux and I truly loved how mana remnants performed. So doubles my mana, as well as the life remnants doubling my life, which is the ascendancy from Blood Mage, and then the mana remnants doubling the mana. Purely beautiful. It's overflowing, regenerating the mana the best way. Just, this is how I want it. You can do it your way, you can do it with mana on kill, or however you want. If you have a ring with mana leech, beautiful as well. But those runes, those are just free 30% damage taken reduction. Take them even with 1k mana. I already swapped to boots with mana instead of the percentage defensive stats, and I'm loving it. I've never felt tankier. I never really focused on one stat besides when I used Hiris, but nothing can compare to 90 evasion and Hiris. But I wanted to use Herald's body armor. So the moment those runes came in, the moment you're gonna try them, you will realize how beautiful this is. I highly recommend to use the damage is taken from mana before life runes. And for the boots, we of course gonna be using 5% increased movement speed. I'm just thinking if I wanna invest into getting the ones with the special lessons to get 100% increase, therefore 20 movement speed, or should I just socket in those? Only the lightning resistance keeps me away, because I exactly need 14 to be capped, and I'm really unwilling to drop the lightning res. But honestly, with these runes, I think I would be fine. I just don't know, like, till the price holds, I'm not gonna use them for now. I'm gonna make my mind if I wanna this or invest, or I don't know. But the price at the moment is a bit wild for the 100% effect of runes in the boots. So 20% really sounds lovely, so I really gonna give it a more thought before I do anything. Hopefully the price will drop so I can just do whatever. But for now, I got the boots with mana. I whittled something useless like chill duration to strength, so perfect. I got the socket, even more perfect, so I will probably just use the movement speed for the extra 10 and I will be sorted. But for the gloves, also you can get the 100 increased effect, 2 sockets. So what I'm using is 5 to 12 physical damage to attacks because it benefits both boss, less than the magnitude of damaging ailments and stuff like this, but it also benefits us on the map when we use the spear, so it benefits both parts of the build. So I would love to have the 100% increase on it and 2 sockets, but I really am always broke and I always just do divines to test something, try out something, so I don't really have 4 items. Those rings I have from when I started the build, I just whittled this 2 stats, and this I didn't do anything really, I just tried to fracture it. As you can see, tier 1, tier 2, tier 5, flat, and that was used on Zest. On the party kill, this tier 4, tier 2, tier 2. So you can just imagine if you have triple flat on tier 1, you're just way above my build in terms of damage, and I easily killed boss solo on tier 4 on full party. So just imagine what you can do. And now for the helmet, I equipped this one because I really started to play mostly with rarity bot, so I dropped all the rarity I had before. I still have some rarity on me, let me see. 48, but I used to have this boots, 24 rarity and 45 rarity helmet to have over like 115. It was like 117 I think to be exact, but I just play with rarity bot most of the time, so I swapped to this one and I'm loving it. I really am. This is just beautiful, amazing, and I love the poison. You can tune in my stream and see how this performs with the ignite. I try on purpose to kill the boss slowly, so everyone can see with very weak setup how much ignite and poison this combo applies. It's pure nuts, and I really like the health bars going green. You don't need it, you can use any helmet or none at all, but what you want is 2 runes or spirit, depending on your current setup and what you wanna use. But the best rune I think now is either the XP if you wanna get some levels, of course, or enemies you curse take 10% increased damage, because we curse them anyway to get the aggravated bleeding. Corruption for spirit and socket for spirit. You don't want double socket because it's just 10 spirit. The corruption for spirit starts from I think 15, so it's more by baseline. If you want more spirit, it's better to get corruption for spirit, not for another socket. But if you just need 10, socket will work as well, I guess. But you want minimum 55 as extra fire, that's all. You can use the shield, you can use normal buckler, you can use nothing, doesn't matter that much. This is very comfortable, lots of fire res, we can put the spirit stuff into it, so we can get it for free, like the accuracy, vitality, cannibalism, dire strike. This is what I have, and it's for free in there, so that's what I'm gonna be using. I didn't swap it from when I started. I saw other options, messed around a bit with them, but I don't wanna replace it, I will not. You can do you, that's completely fine. And the last but not least, we have our Tangle Toe with the new rune for gain 6 of damage as extra of all elements. Just beautiful, perfectly fitted for our build. I already have an answer, this is the best rune. I don't, like I always got the questions critical damage or the flat damage from element or something. Now, this is the best one, but if you like to farm expeditions, the option with the extra chaos damage, the extra chaos, not the flat chaos, the extra chaos, is really good because you will have another type of damage that you can kill monsters with before you like run out of them. So you can lock out physical, lightning, cold and fire, and you will have some chaos to kill them. As long as you don't lock out yourself on monsters, damage against the monsters cannot be critical hits, you should be fine on expedition. And one very often asked questions: 2 sockets or over corrupted crit? If you have 23.5 crit, I think crit is better. Cause look, you can get also the flat physical damage over corrupted, you can have under corrupted skill mana cost conversion, and you can get over corrupted intelligence. In my personal opinion, what I will always pick is the more crit. Less passive spent on getting the crit to 100. I don't even know if you really need the 100. I just want the 100, so I don't have to think about it, right? I just want to have guaranteed crit and that's it. But if you don't mind, you can use 2 sockets. Now with 12 extra of all elements, sweet. Sweet, but for me, sweeter is just having 100% crit. And well, that's all. You can see me sometimes using the extra chaos if I would be doing any expeditions. But this is, in my opinion, the best rune that we can use in the Tangle Toe now. And people, for love of God, stop forgetting flasks and getting a belt with 3 charm slots. You need at least 120 charges, up to 125. more won't benefit you. What you want on the flask other than charges? Fucking nothing. You want 120 to 125 charges, that's it. The way the flask works, recovery rate, instant, up to you, personal preference, but 120 charges is what you need on both. Why? Our rake has a support 1 and 2, it has 2 supports, Concord and Ambrosia, that scale off of the charges. So no overloading, you need normal flask with 120, and for the charms, I recommend doing as I do myself, normal ones with guard when they proc, beautiful. I'd recommend using Amethyst instead of this one. I will probably swap myself actually right now to the Amethyst one, refill it real quick, guard everywhere, cause when you get stunned, you still get stunned before you get immune. This works a bit differently, cause you get insta free from the frozen, but you still get the guard. And the guard is taken before your energy shield, life, and stuff like this. So it's just extra HP basically for wherever it procs. Like you can even get it on the rarity one, like I have. Whenever you kill a rare, you make sure nothing on the ground kills you, or however you wanna take it. But the guard is the best effect. And if you don't use the normal ones, well, you better at least use the golden charm, the unique one, right? But flasks, very important, and don't forget that we can easily have the 3 charms now, yeah? Why not? And for weapon set 2, what I use now, after I just sorted everything else and I had some spare currency, is just a simple any spear. Any, doesn't matter. What matters is suffixes, get some attributes on it, and attack speed. Just for the quality of life, so you can easier get the stats to equip everything. And this is heavily recommended by me shield, but you can use anything or nothing at all, doesn't matter. But this shield just fits it perfectly with the skill effect duration increase. You can get over corrupted one or normal one. It costs literally nothing, so don't worry, just get it. And I don't even want to say how many times I got this question and that was the answer. I don't even gonna say about it much. This is just the most important thing for the build. This is what defines the Blood Mage as Bleed Mage. This Ascendancy node is mandatory. This is your boss damage. This is the defining thing. I just got too many people asking me what's wrong with their boss damage, and turns out they don't have it. You don't have this? Well, you're not a Bleed Mage, so this is the most important thing I can tell you to have in the build. Nothing above this. You don't have this, all your flat elemental on rings, on gloves, irrelevant. So remember blood barbs, defining thing about the build. You don't need this, you can go for HP if you use normal body armor with high energy shield, doesn't matter. What matters? Blood barbs. Passives, they all gonna be in MOBALYTICS. I will also provide the link to my PoE 2 ninjas if anyone really wants and insists on copying me 1-to-1, which I highly don't recommend, because it's just, I mean, it's just impossible. You're gonna see why very soon. I'm gonna explain it in a second. But weapon set 2, we only get longer curse and bigger curse, that type of stuff. So we also get for the mark, so sometimes you can use the mark off of the weapon set 2, but basically what we lock to weapon set 2 is temporal chains, and that's the only thing that's locked in there. The other skills are all exclusively to weapon set 1. Voltaic Mark is weapon set 1 and 2. Same goes for Infernal Cry. But you can change Cry to weapon set 2, so it always swaps you for the Voltaic Mark. But it's up to you. Mark gonna be a slightly stronger with these passives in weapon set 2, so we get higher shock. And I prefer shock over the nodes for against full HP, because I just prefer it. I think it's way stronger and way better overall. And now we're gonna talk a bit about why you cannot really copy 1-to-1. And this is the culprit of it. Megalomaniac Naimod. One of the most powerful jewels in the game that you can possibly get. But the one you see is not even close to what the best one can do. And this thing just takes an insane amount of RNG. You need to drop it. It can drop with 3 allocates. And getting 2, same as I, is gonna be either giga expensive or impossible. Probably giga expensive because it's only 2. And what what you'd want on the Megalomaniac is one of the good anoints that we would normally use, like Lasting Trauma, Barbaric Strength. There is a couple of them. You could clearly see which ones are good. But Internal Bleeding, the one I have, isn't something I would anoint, but it is something that's useful in some kind of way to the build. And that's how you wanna look for yours. Lasting Trauma, Barbaric Strength, and stuff like this. And then you want something that can benefit you. So like, I don't know, Maiming Strike, some attack damage, and chance to maim, Bleeding Out perhaps, Bleeding deals damage faster, something like this useless. We aggravate anyway, and we don't need the crit hit chance. But something, let's say, what can I give as a good example? Even Frazzled could be good, because Magnitude of Shock, not the best support thing on it, but pretty decent, yeah? That's how we look for it. First Approach, for those who really like it, could be good. Honestly, I used this before, so yeah, it wasn't the best, but it did support the build. And if you want to use From Nothing Diamond, in my opinion, Mind Over Matter, one of the best options. We have Storm Charged here, Breaking Point, all natural. Storm Charge is also one of the very good supporting things on the Megalomaniac, but I mean, From Nothing is just too nice, too comfortable. This could be somewhat good. It's one more here. There is Overwhelming Strike here. This one. This is kind of useful also. Note the Resolute Technique, but all in all, that's what you want on From Nothing. Mostly it's gonna be Mind Over Matter, definitely. I just hope that people will use timestamps to get here, because this is one of the most important part for our damage. Jewels, still broken, just less sockets for them. But broken, they just define the build. You can like get perfect jewel to perfectly fit the build, and it will, wow, it can skyrocket your damage every single socket. So what do we want on them? Well, something like this. This is just 3 out of 4 what we want. Crit damage for attack damage with spears. There is also critical damage, just critical damage. And magnitude of ailments. The fourth one, instead lightning damage, it would be magnitude of damaging ailments that we inflict with critical strikes. Remember, this build is not just bleed, it's also for mapping, so for spear. And the thing is, you can also get the movement speed on the emerald. So if you're really the type of a guy that loves the movement speed, go for it, no problem. Especially that it's for map mainly, where you need very, very little part of the damage that you need to solo bosses to flex in front of the friends, right? Like, why would I ever do that other than flex the build so people can come here and enjoy the build as well? Because to bait people to watch it is way easier if you just do something this ridiculous. So, yeah. But no one gonna complain, y'all gonna love it. The most important thing that you need to start the duel with, magnitude of ailments, because it increases the bleed, the shock, the ignite, the chill, everything. And you need the chill, you need the shock, because you want to procure Innervate and Ice Bite. Then you want double critical damage, and if you're rich as fuck, well, add the magnitude of damaging ailments. Couple of these jewels, and I can't even like put in words how much damage you're gonna do. And I already have 2 videos on this build, so I'm gonna briefly tell you something about the supports. Well, you can use whatever you want really, other than Rake, most of the Bloodhound ones, and the Lightning Spear. Lightning Spear is full quality of life on the map. Rake is full damage, you basically only press it into the boss, you don't spam it. You don't wanna spam it definitely, because it's gonna get your flask charges off. And Bloodhound. For now, I'm messing around with Ignite and Poison and Bleed. So, since I can explode the Bleed from Rake, as you've seen on the Zest at start, it does insane amounts of physical damage, which scales the Poison, but it also does a lot of elemental damage, which scales the Ignite. And you can just tune in my stream and enjoy how it looks like when you get it. Well, basically there is not a single boss that can survive, so I can fully show the power of this. We would need a training dummy or something.
But whenever I try to slow down the damage, do it not properly, well, that's when we can see how broken it is. What I have now is probably not something that you guys want. It's Deadly Poison and Searing Flame. That's why I lowered the tooltip DPS on it, because I use those things. So, it's not what you want. I just love how this build just mixes everything so perfectly. Like, the Heralds and Dancer doing damage, that anything hits you dies. So I just wanted to lean fully into like getting the poison as well, the ignite as well, and I even removed the elemental focus from it so I can get the elemental ailments, aka ignite. And I really love it. I'm really loving it. You can do the same if you really want to, but yeah, I'm gonna have all this copied onto the MOBALYTICS, and if you want, you can use that. If you don't, well, elemental focus goes back there. And for the last one, I don't know, like you would replace the deadly poison with the elemental focus, and then you, I don't know, some physical damage from melee like heavy swing, or the one for bleed, but it cannot inflict bleed, don't remember the name. But the tooltip DPS here doesn't matter, all the damage it does is from rake anyway. So you can have 10 million DPS on hand, it's still not gonna be even close to what it does with the rake bleed expire. So, and for heralds, I changed them a lot, but they mostly have the same principle. Herald of Thunder is freezing machine to proc Ice Bite and Innervate. We have conduction, chance to shock. We don't need the damage on them. Trust me, we don't. We have so much damage. You don't need any damage on it. Really, no need. The amount of damage they do anyway is just insane. Herald of Ice, Biting Frost, Blindside, Lacerate, Deadly Herald, or none at all, you will still pump with it. It really doesn't matter. What matters is Herald of Thunder having Ice Bite and Innervate. And Embitter. Embitter gives you ability to freeze, because all the extra damage we get turns into cold. It's a lightning thing by itself, so we just help it with conduction for the chance to shock, and then we get both Ice Bite and Innervate up. This is also why you need all the shock, chill and stuff in a magnitude of ailments, because it will perfectly synergize with our combat frenzy to give us automated charges for frenzy. So whenever you have frenzy charge, your spear just goes tenfold better. That's why also we have perpetual charge and twofold on it. Basically, you have frenzy charge, it's like you throw 5 spears at the same time. But also you gotta remember, we voltaic mark before we infernal cry, just so you're sure that you can already hit the boss. Because if you're in the range of a boss and the boss is actually hitable, not when he phases, gets the energy shield back and stuff like this, you need to actually be able to hit the boss to get all the benefits from infernal cry, like getting the rage, getting the damage per power from enemy, getting the extra fire. You need to be able to hit the boss, or it doesn't count like the boss is there at all. So make sure you're in range, you can put magnified effect like I do, and just make sure you can first hit the boss, aka you can voltaic mark on him, then you infernal cry, double, so you get the rage, you consume the rage to empower it, and the rage itself will give you some extra damage. So look, I will show you now the rotation for damage. But this rotation is only really relevant, and I will show you why, when your gear is really, really bad. Because if your gear is good, you can skip all of that, and I will show you also how you can skip it. But basically, for full damage, when you wanna like, one-shot the boss on full party, yeah, you have good gear, but you're in full party, you tell your friends to wait outside so they don't buff you, and you want to just flex in front of them by one-shotting the boss. So, that's what you would also do solo if your gear is really shit and you wanna kill the boss solo. So, whenever the boss is spawning, like every boss does, it takes some time before you can hit them. You just put the curse on the ground, and then you aim at your character, put the Stormlance, rip for the controller players, then you swap back to weapon set 2. So, whenever the boss is able to be hit, you voltaic mark him, Infernal again, and then we rake. You want to move, you want to make it force moved, yeah, so it charges you to the boss. Because you can't do it from melee range, you need to make it like move you. so you get all the benefit from quality and the support gem. And well, basically basing on your gear, the boss is already dead, but if your gear is really bad, then you just blunt hunt him. If your gear is beyond bad, you blunt hunt him like after 2 or 3 seconds, and then the boss is dead. But that's it. But let me just show you how it works in practice on King in the Mist. So we're loading in, and if we have gear, we don't even have to put the curse on, you know. You just start him, go away, don't get staggered, boom, blood hunt, and he's phased. That's all. Let me show you again on the phase 2, and let's go around full rotation. So, as you see, the boss is still charging. You can't Infernal Cry now. As you see, no rage. You need to wait till you can actually hit him. So let's just use Voltaic Mark as indicator. It's up on above his head, and you see? Rage now. Now we just rake Blood Hunt after this, that don't need any rotation. So for those who don't have gear, now comes the full rotation. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be for no gear, it can be for like full party. But, well, the idea is the same. We put the curse, we come up, Storm lands under our character, we swap back, we dodge the AoE. Now we Voltaic Mark him, Infernal Cry twice, and rake. Look at the damage. I will never get chance to Blood Hunt, but let me show you again on the phase 2. And now we put the curse, we put the Storm Lance, we go a bit away, swap to the weapon set 2, just for the stronger mark. We mark him now, Infernal, Infernal, and rake. I hope that's cleaning this one up. If you want to be more tanky, this is very good option, but then you focus of course on full evasion, get like 90%. Heroic Tragedy Jewel is really good option for it. If you want, you can change one of the... Like I used to have it here, so the Chaos Inoculation changed and it made the intelligence to be giving our character evasion instead the mana. So that's an option to min-max it, but then you would also need to go for this 100p, big dexterity, 30 increased evasion, and then we would go down here for 100 increased evasion from body armor, because good Hiri, not like this, gives you 1.4k evasion. But, well, I always just... The reason I use Calamity is, of course, we could use it normally, but I want the damage to elements and just flat damage for Heralds. And I just wanted it. I just always wanted to play Heralds, and I love the Heralds. And, well, all I can say to people that didn't try it yet, didn't just come for the update, try it, and I can guarantee, I can put my head on the table that you will not hate the build. You will love it, and you will enjoy every second of it. So that's all from me for now. Hope you enjoyed the quick update. Yeah, quick yapping fiesta for 30 minutes plus probably. But if you did, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And for those who don't know, you can join the memberships if you wanna support me. You can also just tune in this live stream for any questions you might still have. See ya.